Ever look around your house and think, when did it get so packed? Not just the drawers and shelves, but your head, your calendar, your whole week. As we get older, we don't just carry memories, we carry old habits, duties, regrets, and way too much stuff. And deep down, we want things simpler and slower. Folks say less is more, and if you've ever cleaned out one drawer or told somebody no and felt your shoulders drop, you already know what I mean. This is about living lighter by carrying less. Part 1. Why am I tired? All the time. A crowded house, a crowded head. I'm standing in my garage right now, and I can't even take 3 clean steps. There's Amazon boxes stacked up like a wall, old tools I haven't touched in years, and dusty bins I keep telling myself I'll sort one day. I open that squeaky door. I look at the mess, and I let out a deep sigh. Not because I'm dramatic, but because it feels like the house is winning. I'm not even doing anything hard, and I already feel tired. That's the kind of tired people don't talk about. Listen, if you're over 55 and you feel worn out all the time, it's easy to say, well, I'm just getting old. Sure, age changes you. It does. But I've seen plenty of older folks with more pep than some younger people. And I've seen younger people move like their bones are made of wet cardboard. A lot of this tired is not your age. It's your load. It's the load you carry in your house and the load you carry in your head. When your place is packed, your mind stays packed because every room is a reminder of something you didn't finish. You walk past a pile and your brain whispers, you should handle that. You pass the same pile again and it whispers louder. And now you're tired before you even sit down. Then you sit down and you don't even rest. You sit on the porch with a coffee mug, and instead of tasting the coffee, you stare at the driveway and think about tomorrow's chores, next month's bills, and that one phone call you keep putting off. People think rest is sitting, but rest is a quiet mind, and most folks don't have that anymore. They have a body in a chair and a brain running laps. Now let me paint you a real picture, because this is how it goes for a lot of us. You come inside, you drop your keys, you stand by the kitchen table, and there's mail everywhere. There's a flyer, a bill, maybe a letter you don't want to open, and that pile just sits there like a little threat. You tell yourself, I'll do it after dinner, and then you don't, and then you feel guilty, and guilt is exhausting. And it's not just mail. It's the Walmart bag with random stuff you bought because it was cheap, and now it lives on the floor or a chair. It's the junk drawer you can't close all the way because it's stuffed with old batteries, loose screws, and things you swear are important but you can't name. It's all the tiny little jobs that take 2 minutes, but you've been stepping around them for 2 years. Money makes it heavier, too. Let's not pretend it doesn't. You drive past the gas prices, you shake your head, and you do that quiet math in your chest, not even on paper, just a bad feeling. You wait for your Social Security check or your direct deposit, and you try to stretch it like it's taffy. That kind of worry sits in your shoulders, and it follows you room to room. Health worries sneak in the same way. There's a medicine bottle on the counter, and it's not just a bottle. It's a reminder that your body needs help now. You swing by CVS or Walgreens, you pick up a prescription, and you stand there thinking, how many more of these am I going to need? You don't even have to say it out loud. Your body hears it anyway, and it tightens up. So when you tell me you're tired, I believe you. You're not lazy, and you're not broken. You're carrying too much, and some of it is not even real work. It's unfinished stuff and unfinished worry. It's like walking around with your pockets full of rocks, then acting surprised your legs hurt. Here's the part folks don't like, but it's true. Clutter is not neutral. It takes your time, it takes your space, and it takes your peace, even when you're not looking at it. That mess in the garage is a constant to-do list you never agreed to. And the longer it sits, the bigger it feels, until you don't start at all, because you're scared it'll swallow your whole day. But you don't fix this by doing a big, heroic cleanup. You fix it like an old person fixes anything, one small piece at a time, without hurting yourself. Today, not next month, Today, grab one trash bag or one box and pick one spot that's been bugging you. A corner of the garage, one shelf, one chair with junk on it, and give yourself 15 minutes. Then stop. And when you're choosing what leaves your house, don't make it complicated. Broken stuff goes, things you have 3 of go, and things you don't even like go. If it's a maybe, put it in a box, tape it, and write today's date on it, and set it by a Goodwill donation box or right by the door. You're not throwing away your life, you're throwing away weight. You know what happens when you do that, even a little bit. You walk through the room and you don't feel attacked by your own house. You sit down and you don't have that nagging voice screaming. You're behind. You start to breathe like a person again, not like a mule with a heavy cart. So if you're tired all the time, don't just blame your age and give up. Look around and be honest. What are you carrying that you don't need to carry today? Start small and do it while you still have the strength to do it your way. Then, once you've dropped even one small part of the load, we can talk about the bigger fears sitting underneath it. Part 2. The real fears of getting older money. Health and being a burden. I'm sitting at my kitchen table, and there's a stack of mail that could make a man feel sick. There's a medical bill, an insurance letter full of fine print, and a pharmacy receipt from CVS folded in half like I'm trying not to look at it. I've got my Medicare card right there, and it still doesn't make the numbers feel friendly. This is how fear shows up, not in some big dramatic moment, but in paper, on a table. You tell yourself, I'll open it later, and later turns into days. Then you start sleeping light, waking up at 3 a.m. for no good reason. That's not just old age. That's your body holding worry like a tight fist. Let's name the first fear. Money. Most folks I talk to aren't scared of being rich. They're scared of running out. You watch your Social Security check hit the bank or your direct deposit come in, and you do that quiet math in your head while you stare at the ceiling. And when you drive by the gas prices, you feel that little punch in your gut because everything costs more now, and you don't get paid more now. Money fear isn't just bills. It's the small stuff that keeps adding up. You go to Walmart or Costco, you think you're being smart, then you get to the register and it's higher than you planned. You do the debit card swipe, and you smile at the cashier like you're fine, but inside you're thinking, how many more swipes do I have this month? That's the kind of fear that makes your shoulders live up by your ears. Then there's the health fear, and that one is quiet too, but it's heavy. You look at a medicine bottle on the counter, and it's not just medicine. It's a reminder your body is changing. You pick up a refill at Walgreens or CVS, and the clerk tells you the copay, and you nod like it's normal, but your heart sinks a little anyway, and you start wondering, is this my life now? One bottle at a time? Health fear also hides in the calendar. You've got a calendar with doctor appointments, little notes in the squares, and it starts to feel like your weeks belong to waiting rooms. You keep a pill organizer, and you tap the lid shut, and you tell yourself you're being responsible. But some nights, you stare at that little plastic box, and you feel old in a way you didn't when you were working every day. Now let's talk about the third fear, the one people hate saying out loud, being a burden. Folks will talk about money and health, but they won't talk about this one because it comes with shame. You think about your kids, and you picture them having to take calls, drive over, fill out forms, argue with insurance, and you hate that picture. You don't want to be the reason they miss work, or the reason their marriage gets tense, or the reason their life gets smaller. This burden fear shows up in simple moments too. Your landline phone doesn't ring much anymore, and when it does, half the time it's junk, or someone trying to sell you something. You look out and see your neighbor's driveway empty, and you realize people come and go, and nobody really knows what's happening inside your house. And you start thinking, if something happens to me, who's going to notice, and how long would it take? Sometimes it hits when your car acts up, because life doesn't stop just because you're older. You get a car repair estimate, and the number is high enough to make you sit down. You think, if I fix it, I'm short on groceries. If I don't fix it, I can't get to the doctor. That's not drama. That's Tuesday, and it wears a person down. So if you feel scared, I'm not here to call you weak. Fear makes sense when you've got a fixed income, a body that needs more care, and fewer people around day to day. But I will tell you this, avoiding it makes it grow. When you don't open the letter, when you don't look at the bill, when you don't talk to anyone, the fear doesn't go away. It just moves into your chest. Here's what helps, and it's simple. You name it. You say, I'm scared of money, or I'm scared my health will go bad, or I'm scared my kids will have to carry me. You don't have to say it in public. You can say it at the kitchen table with your coffee, where nobody can hear you but you. The truth is, once you name it, it stops being a shadow, and it becomes a problem you can touch. Then you take one small step, not 10 steps. 1. You open one letter, you write down one number, you make one call, or you put one question on paper for your next appointment. If you go to church, you bring it up with somebody you trust. Maybe after you fold up the church bulletin and you're walking out to the parking lot. You don't need a big speech. You just need to stop pretending you're not scared. I'm telling you this because I've seen what happens when people don't face it. They act tough until the day they can't. And then everything hits at once. The bills, the health, the paperwork, the panic. But if you start now, small and steady, you keep your dignity and you keep your choices. And that's what we're after here. Not perfection, just a little more control and a little less fear. Part 3. Decluttering isn't for pretty, it's to suffer less. I want you to picture this. You pull open that junk drawer in the kitchen and it won't even open all the way. It's packed with old batteries, takeout menus, loose keys, and little junk you swear you might need someday. You stand there staring at it and you feel stuck because it's not just a drawer. It's a reminder that you've been putting things off for years. Now listen, decluttering is not about making your place look cute for Instagram. Most of us don't even use Instagram. This is about suffering less. It's about walking easier, finding your stuff fast, and not feeling mad at your own house. When you're older, clutter isn't messy. It's dangerous. It's a trip hazard. It's stress. It's one more thing your tired body has to fight. People tell you to organize, and they show you fancy bins, labels, and pretty shelves. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about getting your life back, one small space at a time, so you can breathe in your own home. If you can't find the scissors, or the flashlight, or your medicine, that's not cute. That's a problem. And I'm going to say the quiet part out loud. If you don't deal with your stuff, your kids will. That's the truth. And I'm not trying to scare you. I'm trying to save you some shame. Nobody wants their son or daughter standing in the basement with tears in their eyes, staring at piles of junk, thinking, why did mom or dad leave me this mess? It's not about being neat. It's about leaving less pain behind. This mess hides everywhere, not just in that drawer. It's the closet packed with old coats you haven't worn since who knows when, and you still can't find the one you actually use. It's the basement shelf full of boxes and a stack of old newspapers you kept because you might read them, and now they're just dust and guilt. It's the medicine cabinet stuffed with half-used bottles, and you're not even sure what's current anymore. Then there's the garage, that garage workbench you used to love, now covered in stuff, like the bench got buried. You've got a dusty toolbox, 3 kinds of tape, 5 screwdrivers, and somehow you still can't find the one thing you need. You don't want to work out there because it feels like fighting, so you stop using the space, and then the space starts owning you. So here's how we do this, simple and calm. No hero moves. You set up a little keep, donate, trash spot with 3 bags, or 3 boxes, whatever you have. Put them by a folding table if you've got one, or just on the floor, and keep it plain. You're not building a new life today. You're just taking weight off your back. Start with the easy wins. Broken stuff goes first. No thinking, no guilt. If it's cracked, missing a part, Doesn't work. Or you've been meaning to fix it since 2018, it goes. That broken toaster, that old lamp that flickers, that tool with the snapped handle, it's not helping you, it's just sitting there. Toss it, and don't make it a whole emotional thing. Next, duplicates go. And this is where folks get stubborn. You don't need 3 can openers, you don't need 5 coffee mugs just in case, and you don't need a whole pile of the same screwdriver. Keep the best one, the one you actually use, and let the rest go. Duplicates are just clutter wearing a disguise. They pretend to be prepared, but really they're just taking space. Now the hard category, the heavy memory stuff, the stuff that grabs your chest. Old pictures, your dad's jacket, the kids' school stuff, a box from a life that's gone now. You don't have to face that today, and you shouldn't force it when you're tired, because then you'll shut down and do nothing. Put that stuff in one separate box. Tape it, write memories on it, and set it aside for later. You're allowed to take your time there. Here's a trick that actually works. And it's not fancy. Pick one small zone, not the whole house, one shelf, one drawer, one corner of the closet, and set a timer for 15 minutes. When the timer ends, you stop, even if you want to keep going, because the point is to build a habit, not to wreck your back. 15 minutes today beats 3 hours you never start. When you're ready to move things out, make it easy on yourself. Put a donation box by the door, and when it's full, take it to Goodwill or drop it in a church donation bin if your church has one. If you've got more time, you can do a little yard sale. Throw up a yard sale sign on a Saturday morning and let people haul it away. But don't turn that into a whole new job, and stop saving Walmart plastic bags full of random stuff. That's how clutter stays alive. It hides in bags. The best part is what happens after. And it's not about the room looking pretty. It's about your mind getting quieter, because there's less yelling at you from every corner. You open the closet, and it doesn't fall on you. You open the drawer, and it works like it should. You walk through the basement, and you don't feel like you're walking through a problem. That's what we're after. Less stress, less danger, less weight. So don't wait for the perfect day, and don't wait for motivation. Do it tired. Do it slow. Do it in your regular clothes. And do it for the real reasons: safety, peace, and dignity. Handle the broken stuff first, then the duplicates, and put the heavy memory items in a separate box for later. And when you finish that first small spot, you'll feel something you haven't felt in a while: a little space and a little control. Part 4. Cleaning up your calendar and your people. I'm standing in my kitchen with my reading glasses on, coffee mug in my hand, staring at the fridge calendar like it's a crime scene. Sticky notes are everywhere. A doctor appointment card is stuck under a magnet. There's a church bulletin folded up on the counter, and a community center flyer I picked up and never looked at. There's a grandkids' school event circled in red, and 3 little reminders that say, "Don't forget," like my brain isn't already tired, and I haven't even started my day yet, but I already feel behind. That's the kind of tired retirement can give you, the tired nobody warns you about. You stop working, but you don't stop carrying. You just carry different things. You carry favors. You carry guilt. You carry "I should show up." And you carry the fear that if you say no, you'll end up alone. So your calendar fills up, and then you wonder why your body feels like it's dragging a trailer. Listen, every yes costs energy at this age, and energy is not unlimited anymore. When you were 35, you could run on coffee and pride and still bounce back. Now, one long afternoon out, one crowded room, one extra errand, and your whole next day feels off. So if you keep handing out yeses like candy, you're going to feel drained, even if nothing bad is happening. A lot of us say yes for reasons that sound nice, but don't feel nice. We say yes because we don't want to disappoint people, because we've always been the reliable one, because we don't want anyone to think we're lazy. We say yes because the house is quiet, and a boring meeting feels better than sitting with that quiet. But then you're in a folding chair at some long, dull meeting, and you're watching the clock like it owes you money. I've done that diner breakfast, too, the one you didn't even taste. You sit there with eggs and toast, and your mind is already racing, thinking about the next stop, and the next stop after that. Your phone is buzzing with group texts, half of them about things you don't care about, and you keep answering because you don't want to seem rude. Then you go home and you feel empty, because you spent your time, but you didn't get any peace. So here's the truth. Cleaning up your calendar is the same as cleaning up your life. If the calendar is packed, your head stays packed, and your body pays the bill. And if you keep doing things you don't enjoy, with people who don't fill you up, you start to feel used, even if nobody meant to use you. That's where the bitterness comes from. It grows in small, quiet ways. Let's talk about your people, because that matters more than your schedule. Some folks leave you feeling warm, like you can breathe around them, like you're not being graded. Other folks leave you feeling small, stressed, or like you just got wrung out, and you spend the drive home replaying the whole thing in your head. If you keep giving your best hours to the second group, you're going to feel tired and resentful, and you won't even know why. And here's a big one. You are not required to keep showing up just because you always have. You're allowed to change your mind, you're allowed to protect your time, and you're allowed to rest without calling it being lazy. You don't get a medal for being busy. You just get worn down. Peace is worth more than being liked. I learned that the hard way. Now, I know what you're thinking. If I say no, people will stop asking, and then I'll be alone. Maybe, but listen, being alone is not the same as being at every event. You can sit in a room full of people and still feel lonely because nobody sees you. They just see what you can do for them. Real connection is not a packed calendar. It's one or two people who actually care if you're okay. So let me give you 3 no lines, and I want you to hear how simple they are. I can't make it. That's it. No big story. No apology tour. Not this time. Short, clean, done. I'm going to stay home today. And if someone pushes, you repeat it, because you don't owe anyone a long excuse. People will test you at first, especially if you've been the one who always says yes. A neighbor might ask for a ride, and you might feel that old guilt rise up, because you don't want to be the selfish one. But gas prices are high, your time matters, and you've got your own life to manage. If you truly want to help, help when you can, not when you're worn down and angry about it. Here's a real picture. You're sitting in your car parked in a lot, hands on the wheel, just sighing before you go inside. You're not scared of the place. You're tired of the obligation. That sigh is your body telling you something. It's saying, this is too much. And if you don't listen to that sigh, your body will find a louder way to speak. So do a small calendar cleanup. Nothing fancy. Look at the fridge calendar. Look at the sticky notes. Look at the events that make your stomach drop. And circle the ones you don't even want to do. Then pick one, just one, and remove it, or shorten it, or say no the next time it comes up. You'll feel guilty for a minute, then you'll feel relief, and relief is what you've been missing. Then pay attention to how people make you feel after you see them. If you leave feeling calmer, keep them close. If you leave feeling drained, keep them at arm's length, and don't feel bad about it. At this age, you don't cut people off with drama. You just stop giving them your best time. You're not trying to build a perfect life here. You're trying to build a livable one. A calendar with space in it is not empty. It's healthy. And once you get a little space back, you can use it for something that actually helps you. Rest. A quiet morning. A walk. Or a real phone call with someone who cares. So clean up your calendar and your people, because the older you get, the more your peace becomes your real paycheck. Part 5. Holding on to money. The old-fashioned way you don't have to be rich, just don't be foolish. I pulled out of the gas station this morning, and that gas station sign about made me laugh, not because it was funny, but because it was sad. Everything costs more now, and nobody's handing you extra money to match it. So I came home, sat down at the kitchen table, and laid it all out. A stack of bills, a bank statement, and a calculator, like it's 1996. Right there on the table was the power bill, the cable bill, and a property tax letter that always shows up like an uninvited guest. There was a prescription receipt folded up from the pharmacy, and a note about my Medicare premium that keeps creeping up. That's real life on a fixed income, and it don't care if you're tired or not. Now listen, this is not a get-rich talk. I'm not here to sell you some dream, or tell you to flip houses at 70, or trade stocks all day like it's a game. This is about holding on to what you've got, so you don't get blindsided, so you don't bleed money in little ways, and so you don't get fooled. You don't have to be rich. You just have to stop doing dumb stuff that drains you. First thing is simple. You got to know what comes in and what goes out. If your Social Security check hits the bank once a month, you need to know what day it comes and where it goes. Maybe you've got a pension or a 401k statement you look at once in a while. Fine, but don't treat it like a mystery box. You can't fix what you won't look at. A lot of people avoid looking because it makes them nervous. And I get that. But money stress gets worse when you ignore it, like a leak under the sink. You pretend it's not there. Then one day the floor is soaked, and now you've got a bigger mess. So you sit down once a week, same day, same time, and you check the basics. That's it. You don't need fancy apps. You can do it with a checkbook, a pen, and a calm head. Write down what came in, then write down the bills that have to get paid. Roof over your head, lights on, food, meds. Keep it plain. Keep it honest. If you're short, you're short. Lying to yourself doesn't add $1. Second thing is cutting the little leaks, because leaks will kill you slow. People think the big bills are the problem, but half the time it's the small junk that stacks up. That free trial subscription you forgot about, that little charge you don't recognize, the extra add-ons on the cable bill, they nibble you to death. You don't feel one bite, but you sure feel the missing money at the end of the month. I've seen folks come home from Walmart or Costco feeling proud. Then they look at the receipt and they feel sick. They did that debit card swipe like it was nothing. Then they see the total and think, what did I even buy? Some of that is prices. Sure, but some of it is grabbing things you don't need because it's a good deal. A deal ain't a deal if you didn't need it in the first place. Here's what I do, and it's not glamorous. I keep a jar of coins on the counter, and I throw my loose change in there like my dad used to. I also keep a coupon book if it saves real money, and I don't feel embarrassed about it because pride is expensive. Being careful is not being cheap, it's being smart. And don't forget the surprise stuff, because that's what knocks people down. One day you get a car repair estimate, and it's high enough to make you stare at the paper like it's written in another language. Then you've got to choose, fix the car or cut groceries. And that's not a choice anyone wants. So you build a small buffer if you can, even if it's $20 here and there, because surprises always come. Now the third thing is the big one. Protect yourself from scams. Older people get targeted all day long, and it makes me mad because it's mean. You'll get a phone call from someone who says they're your bank or the IRS, and they'll talk fast to make you panic. Or you'll get a spam text that says, your package is delayed, and it wants you to click a link, and next thing you know, you're in a mess. Let me tell you what to do in that moment, and it's simple. You hang up, you don't argue, you don't explain, you just hang up. Then you call the real number on the back of your card or the number you already have saved, not the number they give you. And you tell a family member what happened, not because you're helpless, but because 2 sets of eyes catch more trouble than one. I had it happen to me, and I'm not ashamed to say it. My phone rang, and the guy sounded polite, and he said there was fraud on my account, and he needed my info right now. My heart did that little jump, but I didn't panic. I hung up, took a breath, and called the number on the back of my card. Turns out, it was garbage, and I went on with my day. Here's another thing. Stop leaving your life on a sticky note. I've seen people with a password written on a sticky note stuck right by the computer, like a welcome sign for trouble. If you've got papers with account numbers, old statements, or anything like that, use a shredder, not the trash can. It's not being paranoid. It's being careful in a world that don't play fair. So when you sit at that kitchen table, don't just look at bills like you're being punished. Look at it like you're taking the wheel back. Pay the basics first, cut the leaks without drama, and protect yourself like you'd protect your front door. Money won't fix everything, but money problems can sure make everything feel worse. And I'm going to say one more thing, because it matters. Don't wait until you're scared and desperate to face your money, because that's when you make bad choices. Face it when you're calm, with your coffee, with your calculator, with your checkbook, and take it one small step at a time. If you do that, you may not feel rich, but you will feel steadier, and steady is gold at this age. Part 6. Loneliness in Old Age. When the house is too quiet. I'm sitting at the kitchen table with one plate and one fork, and the TV news channel is on. Not because I care what they're yelling about, but because I can't stand the silence. It's one of those microwaved meals, a frozen dinner tray you poke with a fork, and you eat it slow because there's nowhere to be. My phone is face down on the table, and it's got no notifications, no little buzz, nothing, just quiet. The landline phone doesn't ring either. It just sits there like a piece of furniture from another life. That's what loneliness looks like most days. It ain't some big tearful scene. It's small and plain. It's the sound of a spoon on a plate, and the sound of your own thoughts getting louder when the TV goes quiet between commercials. You can have a roof, a recliner, food in the fridge, and still feel empty. And if you're feeling that, I want you to hear me. It doesn't mean you're weak, it means you're human. A lot of older Americans are living this, and nobody talks about it because it feels embarrassing. Your kids move out of state. They've got their own life, their own bills, their own mess. Neighbors keep to themselves. Curtains stay closed, and the driveway across the street sits empty more days than not. People used to sit on porches and talk. Now they wave and disappear. And the house gets quiet in a way that hurts. Not quiet like peace, quiet like nobody needs you. You can go a whole day without anyone saying your name, and that does something to a person. You start wondering if you matter, and that thought can sink its teeth in if you let it. Listen, I'm not here to throw you a pity party. I'm here to tell you the truth. Loneliness doesn't get fixed by waiting. It doesn't get fixed by scrolling, or by keeping the TV on all day, or by hoping someone just checks in. Sometimes people do check in, but a lot of times they don't, not because they don't care, but because life is busy and folks are distracted. If you wait to be saved, you'll be waiting a long time. The goal here is not to build some big social life. You're not trying to become the mayor. The goal is one or two real connections and one steady place to go, so your days don't blur together. Big crowds can still feel lonely, but one real conversation can warm you up for a week. That's the truth. So here's the first path. Call one person instead of texting. Not 5 people, not a whole group, one person. Pick somebody you used to laugh with, somebody you trust, somebody who wouldn't mind hearing your voice. Call them and keep it simple. Hey, I was thinking about you. How you doing? That's it. No speech, no explanation, no long story about why you haven't called. Texting is easy, but it doesn't feed you the same way because it's too quick and too flat. A real voice reminds you you're still here, you're still a person, not just a name in a phone. And yeah, you might feel nervous before you hit call, like you're bothering them. Do it anyway. Most people are glad someone reached out first. Second path. Go to one regular place every week. It can be a diner, a church, the community center, or the library. I don't care which one, just pick one that feels okay. Sit at the diner counter seat and order the same thing, go to the same service, read the paper at the library, look at the community center bulletin board, and see what's going on. The point is to be seen in a real place, by real people, on a regular day. Here's why that matters. When you go somewhere steady, you stop being a stranger. The waitress starts recognizing your face, the librarian starts nodding at you, the same folks show up, and little hellos start turning into real talk. It's not magic, it's just repetition, And older folks do well with steady. Third path. Do one small helpful thing. Something simple, something you can handle. It could be setting out chairs at church, handing out food at a pantry, shelving books at the library, or even just checking on a neighbor's trash can if you know they're struggling. It doesn't have to be a big volunteer job with meetings and drama. It just has to make you feel useful again. Because here's another truth. Loneliness is worse when you feel useless. When you do one small helpful thing, you remember you still have something to give, and you belong somewhere. And belonging is a big deal at this age. It keeps you from sinking. Now I know some of you are thinking, I don't want to bother people, or I'm not good at making friends, or I'm tired. I get it. But I want you to think about a normal week and how small this can be. Monday, you do a pharmacy run. You pick up what you need, and when the cashier says, "How you doing?" you don't just say fine like a robot. You say, "I'm doing all right. How about you?" That's not being fake. That's opening a door a crack. Wednesday, you go to the library for 20 minutes, not because you need a book, but because you need a place where people exist. You read something, you sit quiet, and you let your brain be around life again. Friday, you go to the diner, sit at the counter, drink coffee, and let the day feel like a day, not just a string of hours in a house. Even Walmart can count, if you do it right. You walk through the Walmart parking lot. You go inside. You get what you need, and you make yourself look at faces, not just shelves. You don't have to have deep talks in aisle 6, but you do have to remember you're part of the world. Isolation makes your world shrink, and then your fear grows. And when you go home, you turn on the porch light. You sit down in that recliner, and the house is still quiet. Sure. But it's a different kind of quiet, because you had one real moment that day, one real voice, one real place. That's how you build your way out, not with a big change, but with small, steady steps. So if you're sitting there tonight, eating alone with the TV on and your phone face down, hear me, you're not broken. But you do have to move, even a little. Call one person, pick one place to go every week, and do one small helpful thing, and give it a month. The silence won't disappear overnight, but it will stop feeling like it owns you, and that's a start worth fighting for. Part 7. Keeping your mind quiet. Small habits that save you. Most mornings. I'm in the kitchen with a coffee mug, my reading glasses sitting right there on the counter, and I'm not doing much at all. I'll stand by the window, or I'll sit on the porch chair for a few minutes before the TV comes on, before the phone gets touched. The kitchen clock ticks like it always has, and that sound is plain, but it's honest. It's not trying to scare me. That little quiet, right there at the start, matters more than people think. Because listen, your mind does not calm down by itself, not at this age. If you feed it noise all day, it will stay noisy. If you start your morning with cable news too loud and your phone in your hand, you're basically inviting worry into your house before you've even had breakfast. Then you wonder why you feel on edge by noon, like something bad is about to happen, even when nothing is happening. I'm not going to talk to you like some wellness guy with a perfect life. I'm a regular old man. I've had my share of worry, and I've had plenty of nights where my head wouldn't shut up, and I learned something the hard way. Peace takes work, but it's worth it. Not big work, small work, the kind you can do even with bad knees and low energy. So start with the first habit, a quiet morning with no phone, just 10 minutes. Your phone can sit there charging on the counter. It will survive. You sit with your coffee, you take your pills if you take them. You close the pill organizer, and you don't rush. You let your shoulders drop, and you let your mind settle like dust in a room that isn't being kicked around. Then eat a simple breakfast, not because it's trendy, but because it helps. Toast and eggs, or oatmeal, something plain. When you eat junk first thing, you feel junky, and that makes your mood worse, and then you reach for more noise to distract yourself. Keep it simple, and you'll feel steadier, and steady is what we're after. Now the next habit is a walk, and I know some of you are thinking, my knees hurt, or I get tired fast. Fine, then make it a short walk, a walk around the block, or just down the street and back. Put on comfortable sneakers. Go slow. Check the mailbox. Let your body move a little. You don't have to sweat. You just have to move, because a still body can make a mind feel trapped. You'll hear normal life out there, a neighbor's dog barking, a car starting up, somebody dragging a trash can. That kind of regular sound is good for you because it's real, and it reminds your brain the world is not just bills and bad news. Then you come back home, and your chest feels a little less tight, even if it's just a little. Another habit that saves people is a steady bedtime. And I don't mean you have to go to bed at 8 like a kid. I mean you stop treating sleep like something you get around to. Pick a time and stick close to it, because your body likes rhythm. Turn off the TV, set the remote down, and keep the same lamp on in the evening, the same soft light, the same routine. So your brain learns, okay, we're done fighting today. If you've got worries that keep circling, don't wrestle them in your head at 2 That's a losing fight. Keep a notepad on the table and write the worry down. One line. Call the doctor, pay the bill, fix the sink, talk to my son, whatever it is. Writing it down doesn't solve it, but it gets it out of your skull for the night, and that can be enough to let you sleep. Now let's talk about the big noise problem, the TV news, and the arguing online. I know people say, I need to stay informed. Sure. But turning down the news is not being ignorant. It's protecting your peace. Most of that stuff is built to scare you. It's built to keep you watching, and it will chew up your calm if you let it. So do this. Set a limit. Watch a little, then turn it off. Don't let cable news run all day like background music, because it's not music. It's stress. And if you find yourself reading comments online and getting mad at strangers, stop. That's like drinking poison on purpose, then wondering why your stomach hurts. Replace some of that noise with something that doesn't spike your blood pressure. Go to the library once a week, even if you don't read much. Just get out of the house and be around quiet people. Sit for a bit, flip through a magazine, bring a book home, and let your brain remember what calm feels like. That's a better use of time than doom scrolling until your eyes hurt. None of this is about becoming a new person. You're not trying to turn into some perfectly balanced saint who never worries. You're just trying to suffer less, sleep better, and stop feeling like your nerves are raw all day. And small habits do that because they send a message to your brain. We're safe right now. We can slow down. So tomorrow morning, before you touch the phone, sit with your coffee for a few minutes. Take a short walk, even if it's slow. Eat a plain breakfast. Keep the day simple where you can, and shut the noise down earlier at night. Do that for a week, and pay attention, because the first sign of a quieter mind is not happiness. It's space. It's that little moment where you realize, hey, I'm not clenched right now, and that moment is how peace starts. Part 8. Closing what to do in the next 24 hours. I'm turning off the TV right now, setting that TV remote down on the counter, and the kitchen is kinda dim, just that soft light left. There's a single plate in the sink, and for once the counter looks a little cleaner than it did this morning. By the door, there's a trash bag ready to go out, and a donation box for Goodwill sitting next to it like a quiet promise. My chest loosens just a bit, and that tells me something. Small changes matter. Listen, I don't want you walking away from this video thinking you need to become a brand new person. That's not real, and it's not fair to you. The point is simple. Carry less, so you still have strength left to live. Less junk in the house, less junk in the head, less fear running the show. That's it. You've heard me talk about the tired, the fear, the clutter, the packed calendar, the money stress, and that quiet loneliness that sits with you at night. None of that gets fixed in one day, and you don't have to fix it all. But you can start, and starting is how you stop feeling trapped. So here's what I want you to do in the next 24 hours. Not next week, not when you feel like it. In the next 24 hours. First, clean one small spot for 15 minutes. Set a timer if you have to, and stop when it goes off. Clear one chair, one counter corner, one drawer, one little space that's been bugging you, then tie up that trash bag and put it by the door. That's not a makeover, that's you taking your house back 1 square foot at a time. Second, cut one dumb expense. I'm not saying stop living, I'm saying stop leaking. Open your bank app on your phone, look for one charge that makes you shake your head, and cancel it. When that canceled subscription confirmation email hits your inbox, let yourself feel proud because that's money you keep. If you need a reminder why it matters, look at a gas receipt. Everything costs more, so every little win counts. Third, call one real person, not a text, not a like. A call? I know you've got a phone call you almost didn't make because you didn't want to bother anyone, or you felt weird, or you thought, they're busy. Do it anyway. Keep it short. Keep it simple. Hey, I was thinking about you. How you doing? That one call can change the whole tone of your week. And while you're at it, do one more quiet thing tonight. Set your pill organizer out for tomorrow if you use one, put a notepad on the table for the worries that keep circling, and cross one thing off your calendar, even if it's small. If tomorrow is a Social Security deposit day for you, treat that money with respect, not fear. Write down what it needs to do, and don't let stress spend it for you. I'm not asking you to be perfect. I'm asking you to be honest. If your house is heavy, your days feel heavy. If your calendar is packed with things you don't even want, your body will pay for it. If your phone stays silent and you never reach out first, the silence will grow, and it will start to feel normal, and that's when people really sink. So do these 3 things in the next 24 hours. 15 minutes of cleaning, 1 expense cut, 1 real call. Then go to bed knowing you did something real, something you can build on. And before you turn off that kitchen light switch and head down the hall, I want you to sit with one question, just one. If you got sick tomorrow, would this house help you or would it bury you?